Greetings everyone, this is the Red Print, bringing to you another 1v1 at a high level. So, this is a game between, well, two professional players. In the red here we have Sitaux, and he's playing as the Spanish. Interesting pick. And in the blue here we have Villese, who is a player from Finland, and he is playing as the Tatars. So, I found this game the other day, looking for good games to cast, and I did look through this one. Oh, how do I win this? Yeah, Sitaux probably went Random Civ, got Spanish against the Tatars, and he's like, how do I win this? Villese says, I don't know. Yeah, you figure it out. Oh boy. Yeah, like I mentioned, the matchup is kind of it's definitely in favor of the Tatars, you'd say. I mean, Spanish is always kind of like a meme civ. Not a lot of professional players like to pick Spanish, although you have some that will swear that it's the best civ in the game, like Vivi. And I guess if you can get to those conquistadors, and micro those and use those to raid your opponent, I mean, you might have a shot. So I guess we should see how this matchup is gonna play out. But the Tatars definitely have I guess they probably have an advantage, especially if they can get to their tanky cavalry archers with the silk armor attack, giving them extra pierce armor and armor, I think. But yeah, well, I mean, let's look at the map first. So this is, oh, this is gonna be a tough map. I mean, look at this. So you have gold forward for Sitaux, berries are forward, stones also forward. Does have a stone in the back, that is important if you're gonna go conquistadors. Also very open on the front. Only has he has 3 wood lines. I guess this one is fine. This one's kind of forward, but especially just this openness. That's gonna be tough to wall, especially with these hills, you know, which can be used as launching pads to pressure from. And then lastly, he has some gold in the back, ish. Then looking at Vilese's map, he has, I mean, the gold is kind of forward, but it is easy. I mean, you could use these wood lines to wall this off. So I think you can. That Villese is definitely gonna manage to secure it, especially if he, for example, walls between these wood lines. Be a good idea. Berries are all the way to the back, so they're nice and secure, and the wood lines are relatively close to the town center. Definitely a better map for Villese, as it seems at first. So, let's see. It looks like Sitaux is thinking about going scouts, and Villese is thinking the same. Let's see what the player scouting looks like. So Villese is going to find Sitaux in a bit. Sitaux is just found Villese, going to see what his opponent is up to in order to capture. To counter it, of course. So, just thinking about how Sitaux could win this, I think you'll have to rely on those conquistadors and gain a significant advantage in Castle Age, when your conquistadors might actually do a lot of damage before Villese manages to mass these pesky cavalry archers. I mean, I guess that is the time window that Sitaux will have to work with, and for Villese, of course, it's trying to get to the best unit that the Tatars have, the cavalry archer. Neither player seems particularly interested in walling yet, so we'll see how this is gonna play out. Yeah, so Sitaux is gonna pre-wall his berry bush already, just to make sure that you know, if enemy pressure comes in and you just happen to not be looking at your base at that point, then you know you get a warning. Villese walling off this easy wall between the wood lines. It's very smart, you know, that protects this area a bit more. And Villese just being annoying, harassing. And Villese is going to drop a barracks, as expected. And Sitaux is doing the same. Both villages have looms, so the scouts cannot pick them off yet. Um, both players just kind of scouting around to see what their opponents are doing. So I must say, like, Spanish, I never really like to play Spanish because there's just not having crossbows, you know, means they have fewer options, and if you're not particularly good with your conch micro, then they drop off quite heavily. So I am curious to see what Sitaux is going to do as both players reach feudal age simultaneously. Oh, but Villese got the first hits on the scout engagement, so Sitaux has to run away from this or use this hill right here. As both players are... Oh. Alrighty, so Villese just gonna back off. No scout dancing up the scouts for us today. Both players were able to put up their stable. Villese is going to wall off the front of his base some more. Sitaux, for now, is going to play open. Okay, so Sitaux is bringing forward a spearman. That's a very smart move. You see it a lot in scout engagement nowadays, because if you have one spear and your opponent does not, you have a definite advantage. Oh, and Sitaux is attacking a walling villager. This villager could die, but Villese bringing over his scouts, so Sitaux is back away. Still bringing over his second scout. Oh, second scout. Is he gonna get the Ville? Boop. Yep. And runs away with his scouts. Villese now has more HP on his scouts, but Sitaux has brought forward 2 spearmen, so Villese can definitely not fight this yet until he brings his own spearmen. Doing a wall with a gate, that's smart. Keeping these scouts and spearmen out. Villese going to wall this part of his base too. Will have to protect with his scouts. And Sitaux sees the scout numbers, has to bring over his spearmen if he wants to attack this walling villager. See, he's just being annoying, standing on the foundations, because then Villese cannot finish them. But Villese manages to quick wall this off, and now walls out the units. Also, interesting to note is that Villese did have some idle TC time, so there is, at this point, there's actually a Ville difference of about 2. Well, about exactly 2, or kind of 3. So definitely, the Sitaux seems to be a bit ahead. But, Villese has more scouts on the field. Just going to see if he can do counter damage now. Since he's about to wall up his base, counterattacking is a good idea. And Sitaux is still completely open, so has to keep making scouts and military to protect his base. Some dancing on the hills. Scout numbers are almost equal now. Villese has 1 more scout, but there's no spear, so it's really hard to engage here. So he's gonna run around for now, trying to find an angle of attack. Okay, so Sitaux is... Does he think that Villese went to the right? So Villese is actually on the left. Made a lot of scouts. 7 scouts. Both players actually went pretty heavy on the scout production. As Sitaux is going to wall off the right side of the base. Left side is still pretty open. Has secured his gold. With this house wall and, you know, building wall. So that's pretty good. So that's pretty safe for now. Villese is going to see if he can do some damage here, but has to back away from the spears. Sitau's going to wall this up. I think Sitaux is going to get this walled, so I don't think Villese is really going to be able to do a lot of damage. Sitaux also has more scouts than Villese now. There's also spearmen. Sitau's trying to surround these scouts somehow, but they managed to kind of get away. Oh, getting some good hits on Villese's scout. Villese running up the hill. Is he gonna take this fight? Scouts are engaging. Okay, let's see how this fight plays out. No? Yeah. But the spears in there, they're gonna do work. Oh. I think all the scouts for Villese might go down here. I think... Yeah. I mean, I must say, like, for 2 scouts, you know, for having 1 less scout, and there being spearmen there, this was a pretty good engagement. I think that hill definitely favored Villese here, as he even brings him in a spear just to keep these 2 scouts away. So Neither player has clicked up to the castle age, but Sitaux has a 5-vil lead. How did that happen? Some micro battles here, as each player tries to get hits with their spearmen on the enemy scout, because that's trying to take out Sitaux' scout. Gets one. That's really good. Good micro. Look at them just keep circling around each other, just trying to catch the opponent's scout. And I think the fight is over. I think Sitaux is just going to use the scout to just maybe scout around a bit more. Sitaux' spearman is still chasing. Oh, stop chasing now. Both players have now clicked up to the castle age, and look, yeah, Villese is going to go CA. 3 archery ranges to to speed up the production. Sitaux, as expected, has been on his back stone, which is safe, and is undoubtedly going to drop a castle as soon as he hits the next stage to start producing those conquistadors. And of course, then it's the question: what is better when they're in lower numbers? Is it the conquistador or the cavalry archer? I think in lower numbers, it's probably the conquistador because they have a higher damage output, but all depends on your micro. Alrighty. So both players are kind of happy to sit back at home for now. It's kind of the lull before the fighting begins, the silence before the storm. So Villese sees a good bit of the middle portion of the map. Hasn't really scouted the extra resource around the site yet, nor has Sitaux. I mean, a lot of fighting has been still trying to take out each other's scouts, because I mean, if you do take out your opponent's scouts, they might be less likely to see what you're up to. And might get a hit. Oh, Villese gets a hit on Sitaux' scout. But now the cavalry archers are coming out. Now we can look at other things, as Sitaux is dropping a castle safely at home to protect his gold and start making the conquistadors. But now that the CA are out, this fight is definitely going to be in Villese's favor. Does snipe Villese's scout. Gets a spearman. Okay, there's still a vil difference of 3. Looks like Sitaux, for now, it's getting a lot of stone. He might actually think about dropping a second castle, as Villese is now going to be on 2 castles, so is definitely going to boom a bit more than Sitaux will. Doing some raiding on the wood lines, that's good. Splits up his cavalry archers into 2 little groups, just to to harass from multiple sides, as the first conquistadors and a scorpion comes out. So Sitaux is thinking about the defense for now. Villese is sending forward little groups of cavalry archers, doing some raiding, but immediate reaction. Trying to break in through the wall here. As soon as you have blocking arrow, those palisade walls don't really hold out units anymore. And a second castle. Okay, so Sitaux is definitely thinking about not gonna boom at first. I'm going to make a lot of conquistadors, mass those first, and see if I can gain an advantage in this age. Because I mean, this would be the time window. One would say. Trying to deny the castle, but there's a scorpion here and 4 conquistadors, so Villese backs away. Still harassing the wood line though, but there is a scorpion to defend. Try to sit on this hill. And scorpions are, ironically, a pretty good defense against cavalry archers. Especially when it's groups of cavalry archers. You can shoot and do a lot of damage to a lot of them. Villese is going to drop a forward ish TC to protect his forward extra gold of his on a hill. It's pretty Pretty solid position. Still creating cavalry archers. Has 17 right now against 8 conquistadors. Still booming back home. Sitaux still on 1 town center. I mean, Kongs are an expensive unit. Oh! Some nice pickups for Sitaux. Got caught out this group of cavalry archers right here. And, you know, when they get that close, conquistadors can shred anything. I mean, they are a pretty overpowered unit when managed properly. And Villese is going to have to run away now. Can't fight under this castle, and with 4 scorpions now. So this is we're definitely getting to dangerous levels of conquistadors and scorpions. And look how long it takes to take down 1 scorpion. And all these cav archers are a lot of weak ones in there. That's dropping a siege workshop in his own base, perhaps for some mangonels to take out the scorpions. And Sitaux is going forward. I think that's going to be a forward castle. But where will it be placed? I think you might as well just place it right up. Yeah, right there, right up against the walls. Would deny the stone. Maybe harass the wood line. But of course you have to protect your villagers. You have to protect your villagers. Villese sniping a few vills, but now the conquistadors pushing away the cavalry archers together with the scorpions. The villagers are going to make it to the castle. I don't think that there is anything that Villese can do to deny this, so... Sitaux is just dropping a castle right in Villese's face. I mean, just try to get the extra engagement. Is he going to hit some scorpions? 1 scorpion goes down to the mangonel. Another one? Another one. A third? Oh, that's 3 scorpions going down to 1 mangonel, but a lot of cavalry archers at the same time also going down because conquistadors, they're insane. Cavalry archers not doing as well as conquistadors. As Sitaux is going to mine stone. Oh, here, perhaps extend his castle, his line of castles. Still thinking about breaking in, whereas Villese might be thinking about a counterattack, but first has to defend from this mass conquistadors in his base now. Still is just gonna run in, snipe the Ville. Has to watch out not to fight too long under this town center. But like, these conquistadors at close range are just one-shotting the cavalry archers at this point. That's how strong they are. Now fighting under 2 town centers though, that's taking a lot of damage here. Might have to back away here. Ville count is now 72 to 46. I mean, that will happen if you have 3 town centers against 1. As CA did kill some villagers in the wood line here. So Villese is a bit on the back foot military-wise. I mean, has no solid answer to these conquistadors and scorpions, but does have an economy lead. So has to buy time until that economy starts to kick in and he can outmass the Spanish. So they're still mining stone, not yet adding a second town center, so still not booming. Probably can't afford it because conquistadors are pretty expensive, especially heavy on food too, so it makes it difficult to boom, whereas cavalry archers are not. They don't cost food, so it's easy to, it's easier to boom while making CA. Villese added 3 more ranges. Okay, look, some engagement right here. And Sitaux is going to drop another castle. It's just going to extend this line of castles further and further, denying more of Villese's base. And Villese is going to drop a counter castle just to stop the push going in any further into this wood line and this gold. Oh, engagement at the Villese is trying desperately to get these mangonels. Gets 2 of them. That's really good. That will keep this town center up for now. But there's a 3rd one already. still has to engage against Conquistadors and Scorpions, so this is not looking too hot. Sitaux at this point is just fighting underneath the town center because there's nothing in there to garrison, and Villese is going to garrison some villagers. Did deny the castle for just a second by sniping the villas, but is losing a lot of cavalry archers, but a lot of Conquistadors are also going down. This is... It's hard to call this fight. Mangonel shot. Town center fire definitely coming in clutch here. I don't know exactly who this is better for, but you'd say it favors Villese, because having more villagers, he can actually reproduce his army more easily, and Sitaux just does not have the resources to get back to 20 Kongs. So Villese basically lost half his base now. Has 3 farms. Yeah, he lost all these farms here, so he only has 3 farms right now working right here. And I guess this one. So, yeah, what's the plan here? Sending out his cavalry archers to do see if they can do some counter damage, pick off reinforcements or something. But one goes down, that's good. I mean, Kongs are very expensive. The more you can pick off, the better. But has to stay away from this castle. At the same time, Sitaux is just sending in a small party of Conquistadors to raid the back of Villese's base, where he has little defense. Now there's 2 places where fighting is going on. Right here, under the castle, where Villese is microing away from mangonels. And Sitaux isn't microing this anymore. He's busy right here. Oh boy. He's losing a lot of Conquistadors. You can't afford that! That's 7 Conquistadors that went down. And Villese is still doing split micros at the front. That's really good for Villese. Conquistador numbers has been consistently around 12 in the last 5 minutes. So this is exactly what Villese needs. Just to keep those conq numbers as low as possible. That way you can keep booming, even if your economy is kind of a mess. Expand your expand your farming eco again and get up to the Imperial Age. We can start trapping down these castles. "24 cavalry archers on the field right now, in 2 groups, raiding the wood line over here, engaging in the front. Dodged the mangonel shot. Yeah, Sitaux does have... He has 2 castles right in Villese's base, but he still cannot push... it's a hard time pushing this defensive hill. As Villese is... He's making battering rams. Is he thinking about ramming down this castle? I mean, he's nowhere near Imperial Age, so... I mean, can't say I know exactly how well Conquistadors do against rams. I don't think that well. So that might actually be a pretty good call, just to go and, just make some rams, ram push this building. As Red is going to try to drop a castle on this front. Now this would be an important castle if he can get it up. Can Villese defend against this? He brings out the rams! And Sitaux immediately abandons the foundation. Okay, that was pretty clutch, because that castle would have been annoying. Would have taken down his TC. Maybe even ranged the gold, would have given him a great position, but the danger is still not passed. Sitaux is still going to try to drop this castle. And Villese is going to drop his own castle. He's sending in an entire horde of villagers. This is a very important moment. Who is going to get his castle up? Sitaux is blocking the castle foundation, so Villese has to reposition it, as 4 battering rams are already taking down Sitaux's castle. Villese is swooping around to snipe these villagers repairing the castle. As Villese still hasn't even built his castle, only now started. Battering rams still, there's now 5 battering rams taking down this Spanish castle. CA fighting around the base of it. Sitaux is trying to take out the battering rams, but Sitaux's castle is just gonna get rammed down. And Villese's castle just went up. This is a disaster. Oh, this is really good for Villese. All that stone for Sitaux just gone. And look at this ram train. It's just gonna go right to the next castle. And Sitaux still has less than 20 conquistadors. Will not be able to, you know, to stop Villese from taking down his castles. And Villese is also making a skirmisher switch, has decent upgrades on these skirmishers, and skirmishers nowadays are very good against conquistadors, since conquistadors are now classed as cavalry archery. Imagine before, when they weren't. Skirmishers weren't good against conquistadors. Those were the days. As 6 rams are going to the base of Sitaux's castle, and this castle is just gonna melt to these rams. I mean, there's absolutely nothing. So Villese is even repairing these rams. And without castles, Sitaux cannot produce enough conquistadors. It's going to try to stop this, but there's skirmishers here now. Trying to out-micro ballistics. But if Villese is not even microing this, he doesn't care. They're just skirmishers. You can lose 20, that doesn't matter. You'll make more. And his ram train is just gonna choo-choo right to the next castle. And Villese is also raiding this wood line. Again, 5 villagers going down. Sitaux is sending a conquistador army to the back to raid this farmland, which would be a good move. But Villese is probably going to have to send something to deal with that. I like that Villese is going to try to run down this mangonel with villagers, but the conquistadors are taking down the villagers. It's a good move. Mangonel is threatening to these battering rams. He's going to try to take down Mangonel with skirmishers, and gets it. And now this third castle is, yeah, well, definitely gonna fall. I don't think there's much that Sitaux can do to save this. This raiding army is going to go down. Look at he was using Tatars just to try to get the ram kill, but Tatars are, you know, they're just not that great against. Well, they got 1 ram down, another ram with villagers just quickly in and out, trying to repair, but the skirmishers here to take down the villagers. Yeah, there's no way that this castle stays up. Oh, Mangonel gets a hit on the rams. Not a petard, but no, not gonna do it. And the castle falls. And with that, so does Sitaux's presence in Villese's base. Villese has a firm Ville lead now. Has 42 more villagers than his opponent. Has more resources. Is going to be thinking about going up to Imp. And Sitaux still has less than 20 conquistadors. They just keep dying everywhere. And now he only has 2 castles to produce them from. Is still on 1 town center. Ran out of gold inside his base, so had to go to this unsaved gold. Look how many villagers are on this gold. It's definitely panic time now. And Villese has so many resources, he doesn't really care about losing. You know, he has skirmishers too to deal with the conquistadors now. That's always a good trade-off because they don't cost gold. Still hunting down this pack in the back. Like Sitaux is just being annoying with this, just kind of microing it out. Look at him, I'm out micro ballistics. It's really good. Does lose another conquistador, but still has 11 in the bag. I mean, this area is pretty exposed for Villese, but does have armies here now to counter this. TC can also do a hill bonus, has a hill bonus on the damage that it does if Sitaux gets too close to the town center. Villese at this point isn't microing this anymore because it's 40 army to 17. He can afford to lose this. If you're all in, you cannot afford to lose army, and Villese will also know that. Is now going to drop a castle at the front and clicked up to Imperial Age. This is a beautiful play from Villese. He is going to have a great position here on this hill to place trebuchets, start ramming down and trapping down Sitaux's base. Sitaux is switching into knights to deal with the skirmishers, but wait, is this actually going to go up? All the skirmishers just went away. The conquistadors are taking out the villagers. Is this doubt? And Sitaux asked, is this doubt? He was thinking the same thing. Yeah, it's a doubt castle. All the villagers went down. Yeah. Villese is not saying anything. I mean, his position is so good that, you know, this doubt castle is not going to throw the game, but that it's a good move for Sitaux that he actually got that, stopped that castle, but at what cost? Still has 10 conks left. That Villese will probably... Yeah, I just deleted the castle foundation, so he gets a little bit of stone left, not a lot. In the grand scheme of things, though, Night Edition was smart, just to counter those skirmishes, but... It's still 93 to 60 villagers. It's 38 to 20 army. Sitaux is now thinking about ramming down this castle by himself. Maybe... Does he get a hill bonus there? I'm not sure. Might. Let's see how this will fare. Villese only making ranged units, hard to deal with battering rams, but made some caches just for that purpose. But the caches do not have a lot of upgrades, so Villese is getting that right now. Sitaux trying to get this castle down as Villese reaches Imperial Age. Trying to build a tower. A tower against the castle. The battering rams are doing all the damage, but all the conquistadors went down, and Sitaux calls the GG. That was a good game. But Sitaux, he predicted in the beginning, how do I win this? I mean, I think this was probably the best shot he had. The conquistadors are an insane unit if you handle them well, and I think Sitaux did. He actually had a lot of success with this push here. 2 castles into Villese's base. Villese had to reposition an entire economy in the wastelands outside. So, I guess there was a window of opportunity, but Villese managed to keep his economy going, to keep producing villagers and get up to the Imperial Age and get some good engagement, securing his economy with castles, and in the end, getting those skirmishers out. And then there was little that Sitaux could do against that. So well played by both of them. Villese getting the better of Sitaux in this engagement. In any case, let's have a look at the statistics, shall we? So, yeah, you can see that as soon as you hit Castle Age, Sitaux was making a lot of army. This was the moment where Villese did not have a lot of army, did have a Ville lead, where you could push, but just taking some engagement under the town center, maybe perhaps losing too many conks, and you see that Spanish kind of drop off near the end. This shows how insane conquistadors can be. I mean, just look at the KD, and also the knights helping with the skirmishers. But in the end, you have to still push your opponent, and conquistadors, they're not good at pushing buildings. They're not as good as raiding under town centers as, for example, knights would be. And as you can see that Sitau's army high was also, rather low compared to Villese, because Villese, he got that economy rolling, and he collected more wood and food, although Sitaux did collect a teensy bit more gold. I mean, it's really similar. That was where the focus was. Did collect more stone for all those castles, of course, and some other stats, more villagers. Yeah. No, it was a good game. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Please leave a like, consider subscribing, and see you next time.